All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the program. Um, I'm Ben. This is Ben's Brick Designs. Thanks for being here. Um, we are going to be doing some design work today on Horizon Zero Dawn Stormbird. I'll go ahead and bring that up. So this is where we're at. Did a lot of work on this the last stream. And we're fairly close. I went back and finished the legs, and so I think just like the tail and some lower parts of the body. Good morning, James. How are you? So in going through a lot of this, I was concerned about these joints in the wings and the weight of each wing on the weight of these joints. Now, the reason I picked the ball joints here is because it gives you the most flexibility for posability. Wings go up and down, they turn, they're just like your shoulder joints, right? They kind of go everywhere. The leg joints, I was okay with doing these locking Technic joints because I was only really worried about the legs kind of going back and forth, and I needed them to be able to kind of like lock in place if they were standing on the ground, right? And not tip over because the joint gives way. Kind of like the Thunderjaw here. The problem is, I don't know if you can see this pretty well. I'm going to put on the build camera real quick so you can see it. And of course it's not working. There we go. This is what I came up with for the design of the wing just to test it. And you can see it's got all the ball joints under here. This isn't as long as the actual wing is going to be. So this is actually going to be a smaller test, but it's got all the components. It's got all the joints along the way. It's got the smaller ball joints. It's got the sword things on the end. It's got all the thrusters in there. It's got some added bits to kind of hold it in place. Some tiles on the top to give it weight. And it holds up for about a second. Like, as long as you don't move it too much, it'll hold up. This ball joint in here is really susceptible. If it's higher up, if it's held higher up, like its wings are up, it's better. The more it extends, the more it droops. It's just going to droop. There's just too much weight on that joint. So I'm going to have to rethink these joints. Good morning, Vab. I really liked having these joints, but I don't want these things to be on display and then the wings suddenly just kind of droop every time the table gets bumped or something like that, right? That's just... So you can see if it's slightly up, it's okay, but as soon as it gets level or lower, it goes down. And again, this is probably a few bricks short and a few plates and pieces light of the one that I designed. There's probably a way to add tubes in here if I wanted to. On clips or on Technic bricks to kind of hold them in place and stabilize them, but that would limit the mobility. So gonna have to rethink some of this stuff. So I'm a little despondent about that, but I kind of knew that was gonna happen, just the size of this thing. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So how are you guys doing? I hope you had a happy Sunday. I did, Vab. This is for you because James already knows, and those watching. James is a member of our group, Hushed, in the chat here, is a member of our lug. And this weekend we did a robot draft, which was a lot of fun. And basically, it's he and his wife sort out a bunch of parts from sets and have a bunch of boxes with bags of parts in them. And they section off a round table into 12 sections. And they have a robot that comes with an application that you can get online. If James wants to put that in the chat of where to get all this. But it's a Lego robot that you can build. And it's got a program that it will spin in place until it randomly picks a direction and then rolls in that direction. But then it also has a bit of drift to it. And what happens is there's pieces of Lego, or there's bags of pieces of Lego on the ends of the table, and wherever that robot ends, that's the one that wins. So you have, it's a short boost program. Cool. $20. It depends on who's running it, but let's say this last one we did, it was $20 to buy in. You get a little name brick to indicate where you want to put your bet. So it's kind of roulette like, right? So let's say there's this bag of parts over here. You put your name on it, and then the robot spins. And then if it goes your way, you get the thing. If not, whoever puts their thing over there gets it. If nobody's name is on it, the house gets it. We didn't have a whole lot of people, I think enough to like make it worth it to everybody. The house ended up with a lot of stuff. But that's, they bought it all. So fair play to them. But I think if you wanted to get I think I got cause I think I put in $100 because I doubled up on 2 rounds and then just did 1 round after that. So I think maybe ended up with $100 of parts, maybe, depending on the part. There's minifigs. There's, they'll group together again, depending on who runs it. Giant windshields, lots of Technics, bag of plates, they kind of organized into like type of brick. So if you're looking to build up, kind of like going to the pab wall, if you just want brackets or you just want slopes, right? That's kind of split up by that. There was a lot of mini dolls because a lot of the sets they got were mini dolls, but it was very fun. Like, it's a lot of fun to just kind of watch this robot spin and then go, oh, that guy got him. And then watch everybody shuffle their bets in between, trying to figure out where the robot's going to go, or a new bag of parts comes out and everybody wants that. So 2-3 people jump on that. And then if it's a tie between people on there, you have a dice to roll to see who gets it, or you could just split the parts. So it was a lot of fun. I highly encourage, if you've got a lug that wants to do that, get yourself some parts. And I feel like it's a lot more fun than drafting normally. Because drafting normally, first of all, this only took a couple hours, right? And this was a good, probably $200 worth of I forgot what he'd said, but like one box was worth like $25-50 of parts, and then the next box was about that, a little more, and then the last box was like $100 worth of stuff. So depending on like if you put in $30 to buy a set and then you go draft, drafting can get real monotonous, just going up and down the table and waiting for people to like look at everything, and you just pick something, man. Oh, $500. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So. And there is the chance. There was one guy there who kept belaboring this point. He's like, so I could put in $20 and not get anything. And we're like, yeah, that's the game. Or you could walk out with $40 worth of parts. So you doubled your part money. That's the chance you take when you play the game, man. So I highly encourage it. It was a lot of fun. And then, then in between everybody, hangs out, and, it was a whole kind of Halloween party thing. So it was a lot of fun. All right, so on with this. Yeah, the first time they did it was at our last brick rodeo, and I had already gone back to my hotel, so I didn't get a play, but everybody was there was like, that was a lot of fun. So if you can, I would suggest it. So I like the way the legs look. I'm not too worried about the legs because these click hinges will hold in place. Hopefully. They will be stable enough. The only thing I'm worried about maybe is the ankles with this single ball joint down there. But I don't know. We'll see. Again, this is hopefully going to be displayed. This is almost like built to be displayed. It's not really built to be a model that stands on its own. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe I will click hinge a lot of this stuff just so it looks good rather than it be properly functional. Meaning like maybe this section in here will be just a click hinge. It doesn't have to rotate as much. Same with this, but this I'll keep as a ball hinge right there. So we'll see. Anyway, that's what's going on. Trying to think of other, and again, from last time building, there is a lot that I hadn't, like, this whole section could have more. You can see how heavy this is right in here. And this is the wing that I built is about half as many parts and as this design, and this design's probably about half as many as what probably would be in here to make it look right. Like I could add a bunch of stuff on this bit right here. There's a lot of things under here to make sure the hinges don't come off. That kind of stuff. Like I could even add things right here to keep these hinges from coming apart. So, you know, it is what it is. But again, this may be why it's going to take a little time to get this done. I was kind of hoping to be done by now, so I would have November, December, January, February, March, April, May to build the background, because I think the background is going to be the part that is going to screw me. I just need to like randomly order scenery parts, right? Plants and different colored slopes to do rock faces, lots of different colored like dark orange and dark tan and gray and dark gray, basically. And then a lot of plants. And I have enough plants, I think, to cover 12 or so base plates worth of stuff. Also start sourcing parts for possibly doing. This was one of the bags that I won. James actually had gone through a phase where he was buying, they just had like tons of these pearl gold pieces on the pick-a-brick walls and on bricks and pieces. And so he just got a ton of this stuff, right? And it's great. So 4 or 5 of those dishes came out. I don't know what I'm going to use them for. Maybe for the Mars base. We'll see. I also am trying to find more of these heads that have face paint on them, because I want to be able to. Hi, Missy. I want to be able to make more primitives, tribal people for Aloy. So it's not just Aloy in the thing. I can have a few more people fighting the machines, or like a hunter group coming out of maybe some like a bandit camp or something. I also had like this grand idea of like leaving some room in some of these plates so I could light some of them. Let me see if I can find Zero Dawn sign markers. I don't know if this will show you what I need to show you, but a lot of sections of the landscape have these glowing, because you have a focus, they have a glowing, like if there's a rock that's like a signpost either way and it's got just like kind of runes scratched on it, your focus will interpret it and kind of tell you which way something is going. Signposts. I don't think anybody's going to want to capture any of that, but it's kind of part of the game to see glowing stuff when you're looking around in the game. So I thought about doing that, maybe like kind of hide it, have it all behind it, and kind of have it hidden to come up and like have a couple of them kind of glow or lit up or whatever. Set back with my design too. Oh yeah, I'm a little mad. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I knew it was going to happen and I did it anyway, so there we are. What I might do is work on the back end though, because this I think is going to be fairly easy. It's just going to be, but again, well, I can do click hinges. So here's 2 things I'm going to do. I'm doing a ball hinge here, but I'm doing 2 of them. So it only needs to twist, right? It doesn't need to, it It only needs to bend, but it doesn't need to twist. So 2 ball joint sections together should be enough to like hold it in place, and it just needs to bend a little bit. I'm okay with leaving it about like that. And then this back end, I'm just going to do click hinges because I don't care if the tail twists or not. I really don't. The head I want to be able to, so the head is going to be on these ball joints. So the head can kind of look back and forth, but I don't really care about the tail and stuff. And if somebody wants to redesign it later to be more like that, then more power to them. What was your setback, Vab? The legs look great, though. I think the legs turned out really good. The only thing I don't like about the legs is there's a lot of stuff in the way. Like, I can only bend it so far. I might get rid of some of this so it can bend a little more. Oh, and that needed to go up there. That was the problem. So if that can... There we go. That's better. And then this can bend up a little bit when it's walking. So that's good. Okay. A lot better. All right. So yeah, eventually I'll probably end up... The body profile for this on the wings isn't going to be that much different. If I replace these, it'll keep the wings from being able to like kind of go like this. Like it'll be able to go up and down, it'll be able to twist, but like it won't be able to, that's what it is. They won't be able to go forward and back like this. They'll be able to twist and they'll be able to go up, but they won't be able to go forward or back. C'est la vie, right? I mean, they kind of will, depending. But the way those are built, like, because the click hinge sits like this, it can rotate or it can rotate. If you wanted to also do this, you have to rotate it and then do that. But by then the wing changes shape and it doesn't look right. So freaking cones, my idea did not work at all, and everyone can see my discouragement on my live stream last night. Oh, that sucks. Hopefully I won't have, speaking of discouragement, hopefully the help with the settings last night. I think it was probably the 30 frames per second that did it. I'm only sending up 1600K right now. So, I mean, I don't think I was sending up much before, and if it can't handle that, it's just the ISP and I can't do anything about it. All right, so it's 20 minutes in and I've not done a whole lot of designing, but there's been a lot of talking. So let's get to it. This is all going to be black. This is how long the tail is, so I'm going to try to keep it that length. And I don't need it to bend a ton. See if I can get an idea of where to, so that maybe a section there and a section there. So like 2 joints after the legs, one behind the legs and one a little farther. So one here and one here and one here maybe. So let's do click hinges. So yesterday I went to a friend's birthday and we went to a great new restaurant, new to me, here in Austin, down on 2nd Street called, it was a 3-syllable word. Kamuri Tatsuya. And so I thought it was going to be a bunch of ramen, and I was actually looking out for some ramen, but I think they had a dry ramen or a dip ramen. But it was fun regardless. There was a lot of friends there. My friend Tom and I shared a drink that was a big fish. I put some stuff on Facebook. It was a big porcelain puffer fish that looked like a Pokeball. This thing looked like a Pokemon. It had these 2 giant straws coming out of it, and it was a kind of a fruit alcoholic beverage kind of thing, but it was very tasty. Had mint and pineapple and some other stuff. And then this was a lot of fish related dishes. It was like this place was like a Texas fusion place that had I mean, it was like an Asian fusion place, but with Texan kind of flavor to it. It was very good. Meaning not like, I mean, seriously, there was like a guac. It was like a guac poke bowl. So, you know, a hunk of tuna or a couple hunks of tuna, and then a thing of guacamole and some like shredded nori, and then a side of tortilla chips. And you can get a bowl of rice with it. There was a barbecue eel, which was just so good, just melted in your mouth. And then they had fish collars. So they had like a tuna collar and I didn't know this was a thing. A collar is apparently like if you get a very big fish, it's the area around the gills, but it's like a ring, kind of like where the head and the gills connect, right? But it's like eating ribs, right? It's just a big bone with a meat attached to it, and you kind of have to kind of scrape the meat off of it. It was very tasty, and it comes with a bunch of sides. Like you can get guac with it. There's a fish sauce that goes with it too, and we had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. It is a little pricey though, so I was kind of like, oh, but still good, still worth it. Your friends don't have birthdays that often. Turns out they only happen once a year, so that's gonna be black. And then what else? I'm sorry to hear all you UT fans lost to OU yesterday. That's a tragedy. I don't know if it was a good game. 34-30 seemed like it was a pretty good game. I know. Oh, that looks like a little boat bottom. Austin FC lost, so they're out of the playoffs. Hilariously, they lost their last game against LAFC, and kind of a bummer of a season. So hopefully we'll there's better luck next season. I'm kind of glad they didn't get into the playoffs too, because the way they were playing was kind of just like, no, just don't, just let's just stop, please. I didn't want to like back into we almost did, like backed into the playoffs because other teams lost around us. So we'll figure it out next year. All right. Don't really care about this back end. I kind of just want to keep it light. But I also have to attach these tail feathers, which again is going to be weird. And I don't know if I'm going to do the same. These swords over here seem to work well, but we're going to run into that same issue with, you know, how far apart they can live. Let's see what else. Lego wise, I think tomorrow, before I get emails from everybody in our group, tomorrow should be, and we don't have official word because no one said anything, but tomorrow should be the day to apply for lug bulk, so that's good. Nope, I want community activity, all activity. there's been like zero word about it, and the poor LAN is just full of people going, I don't know when any of these dates are. Like they show up out of nowhere. It's like linked 3 forums deep, and it's on a document that was from last year. And once the date passes, you can't see it. And so I'm not the only one who thinks it's not a great system in there. I still think that's too big. Oh, you know what? Let's shore up the legs next. So this needs to be... There's some new inverted slope type pieces. These guys. I wonder what color those come in. They definitely come in white because I ordered a bunch for Mars base. Oh, I need to do that too. We got our Mars base support in. So I need to finish the instructions for that. I think I've finished the instructions. Let's take a look. I think I finished the instructions for the base. Oh wait, it would be under TechSlug, project support. Mars base combined. I'm looking for habitat. Okay. Let's see. All the steps look to be done. I think I was just doing the pages at this point. Yeah. Okay. So just the pages, but I think I ran into a problem because... So this looks funny to me. I think the reason I stopped is I ran into a point where the instructions felt a little off and I couldn't tell why. And this is something, and I showed Vab and Johnny this. If you have a section of a subgroup in Studio and you want it lined up with like the base plate underneath it, and let's say there's a bunch of weird angles within that group. If one of the first pieces in the steps, or the first step has a piece that's off, then that dictates what the bounding box around the submodel looks like, the subassembly, which doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But if you're trying to make instructions, what that will do is that skews how that model shows up. And if you want it to look straight on, like a regular set of instructions would, like a Lego set of instructions officially would, you want it to be like nice and lined up. So it's just, you know, that isometric 35 degrees, 35 degrees or whatever, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. But this was showing up really wonky and it looked really bad. And I was like, well, I don't want there to be confusion. So like I went back through it and I was like, why does this do this? And they're like, if you take whatever piece is flat aligned with the base and make that the first piece in that group, then the rest of the box will flatten out so that in the instructions, it looks nice and straight. So I was like, okay, so I went back and did it. But the other question I had was, these plates don't look, so there's isomorphic, which is basically you're seeing it looks like it's tilted, right? And the back of whatever the piece is should be look farther away than it is. But in this case, it's the same. It looks like the same distance, and it looks like it's kind of bending up. When you're looking at a very small piece, it doesn't matter. But a big base plate like this, you can kind of tell. It looks like it's kind of bending up, and it looks off. What you want is a perspective. You don't want isometric, not isomorphic, isometric. But that's all there's never been, and I was fighting with the people in Studio. I'm like, I thought it had a perspective thing. And they're like, nope, it's always been isometric. It's never been perspective. I'm like, okay, that seems off, but, and I forgot where I ran into that problem. I think it was because I was doing the roof. And I think this is where I ran into it because the roof was all, yeah, I'd stopped here. The roof it looked really bad. this part, this call out part, and the roof itself, because the sub assembly was cockeyed, this looked like it was just this weird angle, and it looked really disturbed. It looked messed up to the head. So I was like, I don't like that at all. But I think everything after this should be fine, which means I can probably this needs to be a call out. Convert to call out. This is not really what we want to be working on, but that looks good. So I also need to write in here that there's going to be this needs to be rotated. I didn't split this up. Okay, so there's still work that needs to be done. But I should be able to get that done pretty quick. And we won't have the parts for a couple weeks, and then it'll be a while till we do sorting. But getting the instructions and the parts lists out to people will help them if they didn't buy in, but they want to build along with it. Some people may have got parts from this latest draft that have tubes in it, and they can make tubes for the base. So anyway, that's another project. So where was I? I was doing this. I don't want anything under there to run into that too much, but I will put maybe a rail in there to give it a little cover. Trying to think of what other Lego thing may be going on. They just put out a thing for the lugs. If your ambassador hasn't told you about it yet, there's a new build opportunity. Build together kind of thing with hearts. Everybody build hearts and put in. There's a link to upload photos for that. There was another thing. I think I put it out. I'm gonna have to go check again. I did. It was the stores were doing a jack-o'-lantern build opportunity. I almost just want to put a inverted slope. I haven't seen a whole lot going on with new sets coming out. Oh, there's gonna be oh, it's too big. Okay, I was like, why wasn't that working? There is a come on, spit it out, Rollman. Animal Crossing. There's gonna be some Lego Animal Crossing going on. Blue Goat, is that in the Animal Crossing? Now, I don't know if it's going to be just like you're going to get a bunch of weird figures. Oh, it's a leak, a blue goat. Well, now I can't talk about leaks. You know I can't talk about them leaks. Viking or medieval. Okay, cool. So probably I think that's the next kind of big thing that they're doing is that Viking set was really cool, and I bet a lot of people were like, I want more of this. So Lego's like, let's do some more Viking sets. Let's just do this. I like these little bits in here. Keep it kind of looking kind of interesting, at least. top looks like. Oh, I have to make room for right on the hips. I need to make room for, and this could have been what I was doing here. Did I see any? There's no leak. I don't see anything in the leaks section. So either it's not really a leak or it's something that like a retailer got a hold of and put out and they weren't ready for it yet, which is still a leak. But I mean, if a retailer has it, then it's not somebody from within Lego going, hey, look what's coming up. Yeah, I mean, all right, so right above this, we need to make these little canisters. So I'm going to do the old school round brick. These need to be blaze canisters. So these are going to be the hot green, trans neon green ones. And looks like a flower. So these in the light gray. Okay. And then I can't tell. They're at an angle again, so we're going to get our angled bar stand thing. And I'm not going to fret too much about the angle being right. Make these in black. They just need to happen. So let's do some clips. So is it a blue goat figure, like an animal mold, or is it a buildable goat? Check my Discord. James, are you on my Discord? Yeah, I don't think I can share this just yet, but I'll look at it. Oh yeah, look at that. Is that a couple goats? Like a cow and a couple goats? And one of them's like a light blue or sand blue or something? That's interesting. I know, turn off Discord, don't need that. Okay. This is sassy. Sassy science fiction music. Couldn't really tell on the image. It was a little blurry, but I get the gist. Okay, so that's good. Should be above the legs. Actually, it looks like it can go down. Maybe one more. That is going to bug me to the end of my days. I absolutely hate it. Bab knows what I'm talking about. Select the last one, try to drag it. And it ends up going select, drag, and you just highlight the whole thing that you, and I'm like, no, God, come on. Ugh. All right, so that's going to be covered in something Let's do a plate. Cow, baby cow, cat, goat, horse, sheep. Neat. Did you get the latest? It just came out with the October release, didn't it? Viking Village. Did you get that one? Slope. I haven't yet. I haven't decided if I want to. Do these guys. Okay. Save. Oh, you know what? I might do white and then jumper plate. In black. Haha, solved it. That little stripe right there that was bothering me. Guess what? Fixed. Nice. You know I don't buy anything brand new at full price. What I need to do is I need to build a list. I just need to build a list of things that I want that are coming up and just have them on like these are the things I want, and then just I tried doing camel that shop, which I hate saying, by the way. Camel 3 camel. But for whatever reason I can't seem to set up the alerts right, because I'm constantly getting stuff that's like, there's been a price drop for you on an item you want. I'm like, oh, cool. And I go check it out. And I keep thinking that I've set it for like 20% or lower. Like if it gets to 20% off this price, let me know. And then I'll go make a judgment call of whether I want it or not. And 20% is not a lot. Some of them I started at like 40 or 50. But like it would say, you've had a new alert, and I go check it out, and it's like it dropped a penny. I'm like, that's not a 20% alert, you know? So I'm thinking what happens is they raise the price for a second and then they drop it to like a penny below or something, and it just triggers everybody. So I should be doing probably a hard set price. Like if it's $70, trigger it when it's 50. So I can't really tell what's going on with this. So I don't want to do too much. Probably just a couple of these again. And then the grill plates. Grill tile. Without bottom groove. Why even have that in there? I need to remove that from my palette. Okay, good. That's all. That's all I need for the tail. All right. Now, actually, I say that, but what I probably need is for there to be something in here that is going to be, so not that plate. Something that'll hold these stupid feathers. And there needs to be one thing over here that's, looks like, let's switch this up a little bit. Make this one white. Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, I gotta sneeze, hang on. Oh, excuse me. Ran into a little dust issue. I need to vacuum this whole area and dust it. I was trying to find these guys, these big ball joints, and I have some medical storage drawer things that a friend of mine gave me, and they're great, but they don't have a backing lip on the drawer. So if you pull it out, it's smooth. The drawer just comes right out. So if you're not thinking about it and you just kind of pull it out, the weight of the drawer does this and everything spills. It doesn't have anything that stops. And I'm like, I need to get this fixed. I can't keep doing this. So I just pulled it out and they just went everywhere. This is like 5 minutes before the stream started. I'm like, I don't have time to pick all these up. Dang it. All right. So again, these are collapsing on a single point, but being able to spread out. This was a pretty good solution here for now. I'm wondering if I can replicate that, but with have it. So let's try that one here. Another one here. Yeah, I don't know how many of these, how wide these need to be apart. 3D print a tab to clip on the back of the drawer for a stop. Well, that's the problem is that first I'd have to get my son to 3D print it. I don't have a 3D printer. I have 4 clusters of those and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in, well, no, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So 3 times 16, 48. I have 48 of them. So I'd have to print up 48 pieces, which is fine. If I were like keeping these, but I think ideally I want to get a better system. I don't know. The whole idea of part storage is so daunting that I try not to look at it too much because it just makes me sick. If I did. What? That's not too bad. Oh, you know what? I don't want. Oops. I don't want that turned. Nope, down there. Okay. And the trick is how to keep these together. That's pretty thin. I could probably attach that some point in here. Maybe right there. That's a 1x4 plate. Since I use my stock of parts for building, I feel like I need access to it, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I would love to be able to wholesale replace all my storage, but I just don't know what the best process for it is. That works pretty well because on the back of this, you can see there's like this frame. Can't really see it there. Right here. So if I color all these black, that kind of works with what the model actually is. In fact, I could probably do... I wonder if I could, if there's a, what is this? 1x3. It's just a wedge plate. I think I could replace all that. A 1x3 wedge plate. See, this is the part that gets... I know that works. Yeah, that should work just fine. And then I can put a... corner plate in here. Like so. And then a regular plate. And I don't want this to get too heavy. And then repeat this down here. And then these can be black. Yeah. I'm very good with this. Oh, those need to... Oh, of course they do. So this is the stuff that gets me, is like, it also needs to kind of like do this. And I'm like, I don't think I can do that. And so maybe I won't. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, what's the choice that I'm making with this? Make sure it's got all of it in there. Should fit right in there. Oh, because these didn't turn with it. Copy and paste. Copy and mirror strikes again. Like, do I even bother reporting that as a bug? This part doesn't copy and mirror properly to Bricklink. It's an L-draw issue too. This might turn out to be a little heavy for this thing, but we'll see. Did I move that up? I did. Okay. I'm wondering if that is left. Y'all are in the way. Excuse me. Come on, man. Work with me. There we go. Okay. Let's see. This was up there, so let's put it a little farther up. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Yay, it looks like the thing. Now I just need to... I think that's done. Hooray, done. Yep. I'm super happy with that. It's kind of what it looks like from above. No, that's a... No, that's a Stormbird. You can see how big the wings, like this whole section needs to be like huge additional, almost like a... like another whole plate or something. I don't know. That's actually not a bad idea. Part is designed using Eldra, and it has something to do with the connectivity during the part design process. Yeah, and I figure they're probably having to rewrite a bunch of that stuff. Eldra was the one that had the... No, it wasn't Eldra. It was MCAD. What was the other one? The one that had the copy and mirror, because Studio didn't always have copy and mirror, but one of the other two did. And I don't think it was a limitation. What's up, Mayo? I don't think it was a limitation to the software where it didn't understand that it also had a rotational asymmetricness to the part, but you're right. It's probably because it doesn't... Nobody went through and told it that they probably think this is the connect, like that hole, that Technic hole is the connecting part. So copying and mirroring that doesn't matter because that's just the one connection. It doesn't understand that there's a you know, a rotational bit that flips it. Or they don't care about the Technic axle part of it. One of the two, but I don't know. Just no, because you can also get, it used to be, my caps lock is on. It used to be this was a problem. I did, when copy and mirror was first out, I just went and experimented on it with the Capitol building, and I had a lot of these corners in buildings like this, right? And then there's a wall and there's another wall, and I would copy whole sections of the building and do copy and mirror. And the problem was these would mirror on the, they would, you know, go on the other side, but they'd be like this, which means they were either sticking out of the wall or they were conflicting with, so you'd see this spine of conflicts going up on each corner, and you'd have to go in there and, you know, select all of them, which was a pain. It was almost worth it just to rebuild it than go in and fix all the problems it had. So instead of, what I had to do is I had to go back and I would copy whole sections of the building into another studio file, export that out into MCAD, LDRAW, whatever I was working on, do the copy and mirror, save that, import it back in. It was a nightmare. It wasn't fun, but it got done. All right, so mostly done. I would say this is pretty well. I might replace this with. Can I do that? No, I liked that. That was pretty good. I don't have anything that goes 3 deep like that. That's pretty nice, though. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave that for a second. Okay. So, because I know those joints won't work, I was going to put this other, if you look here, so there's these big old tendons right here, these machine tendons. And I tried to replicate those, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that, right? And that looks pretty good. There's a second one that goes from, they go from this thruster to that joint, and then from this thruster to that thruster. So I thought we could do another one. That's why I had this here. I forgot to delete that. That doesn't fit, though. That opening is too far away. Are you filming this with Restream? No. I am streaming it with OBS. It's not Restream. It's just OBS straight into YouTube. I was using Restream last week. When I want to do with a group of people, I'll use Restream because then I can use Restream Studio and invite people to it. So it's like StreamYard or whatever else. That's just the one that I just happen to have an account with. So I did that. When everybody went to StreamYard, I went to Restream because I was at the time doing multiple YouTube, Twitch, Facebook all at once. But then it became obvious that nobody was watching it on Facebook. And then it was that you can't simultaneously stream from YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Twitch goes, no, you can't do that. So I was like, well, then I'm getting rid of one of these. So I almost feel like if I do this, sometimes I feel like if I can make the, if I can make this work, it might. So here's the other thing. This is something I didn't test on this, and I might go back and try to test it, is I did not put this flex tube in here. This was not part of the, oh, and I don't know if that'll work at all. There's holes in there, right there to put a clip, and then this goes to over here, where there's another clip holding that in place. Now I could test that to test the strength of this joint. Like if I put a flex tube in there, would it hold? This is a bit twisty and floppy and stuff. And this joint isn't great, but if I put some flex tube in there, would it also kind of hold it in a position? If that's the case, I might be able to shore it up a little bit, but I need to figure out where to put this other one. Don't necessarily need that piece. So I could do... Pandemonious Panda, greetings. How are you? Thanks for being here. I hope you're doing well. What is that running into? A bunch of stuff. Yeah, I don't know if that'll work. Okay, why won't that go in there? Is it just conflicting? No. Hide. Yeah, that's probably not. Yeah, I might play with it a little bit, see if because I don't know how many of those flex tubes I have. Honestly, the bag that I had oh wait, they're right here. I was gonna say the bag that I had. Speaking of wings, here's a vulture. This is just clips. These are just clips. But they are click clips. And then the edge fringe wings are just clips and bars. Pretty good set, good figure. So there's these, which would work, but I think in the color that I need, and I don't know that I have any, honestly. I have my bag of tubes. Thanks, Panda. Appreciate that. I got 100 followers, subscribers, so technically I'm, what's the term? Affiliate. So once you're an affiliate, they don't want you to, you can stream, but then if you wanted it to appear on YouTube afterwards, you'd have to wait 24 hours and then export it into a VOD to YouTube. So I was like, well, that's a lot of work, and I have more of a community on YouTube, so I'm staying over here. So I have one. I have one of these tubes. So that's what they look like, and they are flexible. They're not like super flexible like those super flex rubbery tubes. But I can practice with this. This one's a little big. Like it would take up. What length is the one that I have here? 7? Oh, this is longer than 7. I don't know how they measure this, but it's an odd number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this one's an 11. So that's too big for my purposes. But yeah, it might work. 3. So instead of is it so it's it's called rigid. These things. The problem is I don't know which one of these. The whole reason I like this, because these are just as flexible as the rigid tubes. They're just as flexible. In fact, these are rubbery. These are just like bendable plastic. So I'd rather have the more rubbery ones, and they come in this color. I'd have to see orange. About ready to break this dang thing. So I have to buy some of those tubes and see if that works. I may have to revisit this, put it all together, revisit it, see what works, what doesn't. And And some of these pieces I don't have, so I'll have to buy some. And now we wait. Shouldn't be that many oranges compared to blacks or whites or reds. So the Concorde, if you're planning on building the Concorde, you get all these extra orange pieces. You get all these extra orange pieces. So you get really cool wedge plates. You get a couple of these round plates with the bars in them. A lot of 1x1 or 1x6 and 1x4 plates, and some rails. So that's a plus. There was nothing to do with these. These were just to put in certain places while you were building. Speaking of orange. So if I did a hose, yeah, I get this is how long? 7. And that's 7. So I could do either of these, but they have the same connecting piece. And I think honestly, these are going to be more flexible than these. When they get these rigid hoses, when they get the shorter they get, they might as well be just like bars. They do not bend very well. But that's good to know that they're available. 25 cents for that, 60 cents for that. I don't think that's really the price, but that's average. So that's something to keep in mind. But these just look cool. These look more like the tendons on the wings here. I wish I could figure out how to replicate that inside its chest, like right in here, but I guess I could do these. I could color those orange to give the indication that it's got stuff in there. Yeah, turn it. Oh, I got to close this gap somehow. It's an offset thing. I'll figure that out. Again, it's adding pieces to the wing, and it's going to make it heavy, and it's like... These swords are also heavier than these little orc swords. And then I've got these things added to it, so I don't even know if this will hold up very well or this will hold up very well. Maybe just hang it out here like this. Needs to be about 7 away. I would love an inverted clip piece. That is like a 1x2 with a clip on the bottom. Lego doesn't like building things on the bottom. So that'll never happen. Right? Wouldn't that be amazing? There's a couple I would like. I would like a bracket that's like a 1x1 bracket. You know, the 1x1 brackets that are just like with one side up or down, but have that same on the other side. Because the bracket height and extension is different from a Travis brick. There's a couple I'd like. Um, one by one stud with a hole and clip with a pin on it and cut the pin short. Yeah. That's a big ask, though, when you're asking. And I'm going to make instructions for this on Rebrickable. Yeah, just do this piece and then just cut it. I really thought this would work. I mean, that might work, but that's too far away. I thought that would work. Well, that might work. Nope, not. I want this. The problem with this, like, I think that's too much to ask for this piece specifically. That's too far away. Technic part, it's a 1x2 plate with an axle hole coming out of the bottom towards the side. 1x2. 1x2 plate axle. Oh, I'm still stuck on orange. Plethora of gray wedges plates go by the Galaxy Explorer. Yes. Oh. Yeah. Modified plate. These guys. Yep. And then half pin. James with the big brain on James. Let's put all these in light bluish gray so I can see everything. I think it's half pin. There we go. One of these is the right one, and this bothers me. Blue. Not that one. That one can go away. And then that can go away. And then this can go here. What? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And this. Hooray! Perfect. It's conflicting with something, but I'm okay with it. No, nothing. Nice. Look at that. Like a boss, James. Yeah, I'd really be interested in knowing how, first of all, if it's that flexible. So I might buy some next if I can bend this at all. It doesn't want me to, because it's whoa, 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 whoa. Settle down. Okay. Anyway, that looks good. I like it. Looks good. Let's see how it works. Copy and mirror. It goes here. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Bang. Awesome. So here's its body, and I'm liking this still. Its body is shorter than the what's this thing called again? Brains fried. Thunderjaw. But its wingspan is bigger. Now the pose is going to be like this image here, where it's gonna kind of have like its legs and arms and stuff down. What's up, Kodiak? So, and its mouth opened. I had to make sure to be able to pose its mouth. Finished bag 4 of the Galaxy Explorer, and it's going by quicker than I expected. Nice. It turns out that it isn't. You could always put in that part in some hot water and soften it up a little and form it into that shape. Yeah. That's true. But I mean, it looks pretty good. I think adding this one little plate right here added a little bit of the kind of just a little bit of heft that it needed without adding too much more weight. I think it's still a lot of weight, but all right. Do we need to finish anything else? Tail's done. Legs are done. I'm gonna test. I think this is still too much weight for this joint. So at some point, this joint will have to be replaced by these joints, and that will change how this is all put together in here. But so what I'm going to do is, now that I know the size and it's pretty much done, I'm going to get rid of this. That's what looks weird, is its leg is bending the wrong way. How you doing, Kodiak? How's life? I hate when that happens. You click a thing that's obviously a joint, and it goes, nah, I'm going to pick the whole thing. What is the pose doing? It's kind of got its claws back like that. Yeah, now I want to pose it, but I know I'm going to have to redesign the wings. Gender reveal party for a baby. Nice. That's very nice of you to do. Do not have a Oh my god, that picked that up. That's weird. I didn't realize that was picking that up. So let's do that. No, that's not what I wanted. What is happening? Oh. Okay, so we'll leave this one in here. I don't want it stacked. That can go away. I don't need to see that right now. Okay. I'm not doing pyrotechnics yet or hiring a crop duster that's going to die later. That was so bad. So this is what was confusing me about this image is I thought this was curling around a lot more than it was. Turns out it's just these thrusters opening. Now I'm probably not going to go make these thrusters open and close. But I probably could figure that out. But at the moment, I'm just leaving them like this. I think that'll be fine. Have you heard of ladder golf? Nope. Oh, is it that thing and you've got like a ball with a string on it and you kind of throw it at it and it like wraps around, kind of like feels very like Aboriginal weapon kind of thing. Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. All right, so let's try this. Got about a half hour left, and let's just play. So this is, for all intents and purposes, done. Hooray, last Horizon Zero Dawn machine is finished. We're not talking about the Rockbreaker, because the Rockbreaker is not in this image. But if anybody's curious, the Rockbreaker is a giant machine. It is equally as big as a Thunderjaw, but it burrows. And it has these big old flippers. It's like a mole, but like a mole on steroids. It's a very, very large machine, and I don't know honestly how to properly show it other than have it coming out of the ground. So that may be after next year's Brick Rodeo. I still want to design it because I think coming up, just figuring out how to do these like 3 jaw mouth things in the front would be somewhat of a challenge, and I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I don't think the rest of it would be terribly complicated. It's just a big hulking thing with like flipper arms, so it's going to be a lot of greebling and just getting the mass right. But I think this would be the challenging part, and I don't think that challenging. Have a thing over the top with it one gear, and then you have like an angled Technic piece, and then you have your other jaws that kind of open at an angle like that, and they each have the gear on the side of it. So not super complicated, just making it all work and having it all attach in the head. And but yeah, the idea of it coming out of the ground is really what I'd want to do, which requires a lot more prep. And building scenery right now is all I want to do is do base plates and like rock work and plants and just kind of be done with it. So, but yeah, there you go. Yay, Stormbird. Its wings could be a little heftier, but again, so let's try something here. So let's get rid of all this wing stuff. And again, you legs are in the way. I need to move you guys. I'm gonna try to get you guys out of the way so I can select just the wings. This says how it would be looking while it was flying anyway. So that's cool. So let's, whoops, caps lock again. Let's try one side here. Let's get right above it. Okay. That works. So we get right above it and we select everything. Try not to select anything but the wing part. See, and I did just the opposite. I selected a bunch of stuff that I didn't need to. So I don't want any of that leg. I don't want any of that. Okay, good. Did that work? Perfect. So that's just the wing. So get rid of that. Not get rid of it, but. So now I need to replace this. I had all this stuff built on top of it. That was another thing. I don't think this would have allowed it to move a whole lot, this plate in here. That may have been a problem. Which means I probably needed to do tile mod. I have way too many apps that need updating. This probably can do this twice to give that more room in there. I don't know what happened and where that went. Here. Nope. Come on, man, work with me. All right. Just so that has more room over there to move, because I think those studs were getting in the way of it moving, period. So, all right. This is one big thing, so I have to get rid of that. These are a full brick in height. So, copy this out. Bye, Mayo. Take care. Thanks for coming by. All right, so again, this is going to limit the ability for the wings to move in certain directions. And that's fine, as long as we're aware of that. So let's give it its regular shape. Now the wings are oriented like that. So we're going to do like this. $90 degrees, 90 degrees. In the pipe, 5 by 5. And if you noticed, this whole section of the body is upside down. And I did that so I could get this. Because that lines up. Nobody needs to see this anymore. That lines up with this thing. So I didn't figure I could get these slopes underneath that way. So because these are hinges, you can flip back and forth. So then the rest of this is right side up. This is upside down. So there you go. Now, this piece right here is going to be a problem because it's holding these two bits together. But so is that. So that's okay. All right. So replace that. We'll put... let's put a rail in here just to give it a little more oomph, a little more zhuzh in there. It also limit how far that can bend, which might be a good thing. Do I hear a Beth? Are you stirring? After this, I want to try to put lights up, but we may need to go shopping for Aggie food. Oh no, I got another half hour of this, so no rush. Just letting you know. So now there's enough room to put this in. Should be. Let's do this one at a time. Okay, good. Any conflicts in there? Maybe, I can't tell. I don't think so. All right. And then we put this in there and instantly have a conflict. Instant conflict. All right, so these are rotational joints. So I know there's a couple kinds that will fit in here. This will fit in there, but I don't know what that attaches to. That's the thing. I think it attaches to like this or something. Then there's these kind that are way too big. And these will only provide you like a swivel. So what is this? That's interesting. This will go in here. But that doesn't do anything for me otherwise. There's this, but I don't know what that does. Looks like it's got clips on it. Nope. It's a neat piece, but I don't know what it attaches to. Does it attach to one of these? Yeah, that doesn't attach either. Okay. So, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. I'm sticking with this, but there's another, I thought there was another, guess not. There's a sideways attachment, which we might be able to do. I did that. Now, yeah, this whole thing just is not enough room. So, all right, so we get rid of these couple things for now. See, this is what I was worried about. Is it's going to change the whole character of how this is built. What the world's coming to. All right, so as long as nothing's attached up top there, we can rotate stuff. What is that? A tile? Okay, keep that. And this can just be, that can just be a plate. So let's delete this for now. I have the replication of it down here. So if we do just a plate. So today's festivities include maybe finishing. Oh, I have colonoscopy coming up on Tuesday morning, which means the next couple days I can't eat anything but mushy foods, and then tomorrow I can't eat anything. It has to be like apple juice and Gatorade and water for a full day, and then that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be miserable all day, and but tonight we're gonna go to Jimmy Carr. So I'm excited about that. All right, so did I delete something? What did I delete? Oh, this got moved. Okay. I was going to say that wasn't supposed to go away. But that's important because it might be in the way. Oh no, yearly thing. It's not a like I'm not expecting any problems. It's just I'm 50 now and you got to do it. So just regular go in and get it done and have them look and see if there's any problems. My biggest concern is like I'm gonna get there and they're gonna be like, sorry, you didn't flush yourself well enough and we're gonna have to reschedule or something like that. That's my big concern. So I'm worried because we went out last night and I wasn't really paying attention to what I was eating. And I had like a bunch of fish and barbecued fish and dessert, heavy fruit cream dessert things, and I had a couple adult beverages, and so now I'm like, ugh. But like the week ahead of time stuff, I'm like, I don't take any supplements, I don't take any iron things, so I should be okay. All right, so the next thing, this is going to attach to here, so this has to go away. And there is a socket that we can attach to here to hold this in place, but I don't think it's one of these. I think it's just too big for this. It goes right there, which means some of this will have to move. Like this will have to move. But that's okay because that joint goes away anyway, so that's not attached there. This attaches differently because that's not in the right place. That attaches there, which means that all gets lowered onto that. More importantly, this whole orange thing goes away. Why isn't that? That should be just fine. I don't understand. That works. That works. Why does that not work? Does the ball get in the way? Oh, the ball gets in the way. All right, well, that adds width to that. So that makes that longer. This whole thing can go away. This is going to have to attach a different way. This probably has to attach like this one. So let's just do that. Yeah, that's going to attach differently there. All right, so, well, let's line these things up first. Let's move this out of the way because that's all going to have to be redone. Get that out of the way. Oh, wait, let's put this back and put this up here like that. So that's roughly the same. But this attachment is real weak. So let's, I mean, just for fun, brick. Yeah, I'm not entirely looking forward to it, but it's also not like the worst thing that can happen. I've had a friend who's gone through a couple of them and they're like, yeah, it's fine. Just, it is what it is. Can I make that orange? It's part of getting old, I guess. Let's make it black instead. Oh yeah, what color can I make that? Hopefully black. Dark gray is fine, I guess. No. One of these is like that. No, I don't want the $1.88 one. I want the ball sockets. There's a cheap one, and I always forget which one is the cheap one. I don't think it's that one. I think that's it for those. Black. So these two. Not those two. Okay, so that is 5 cents. That's the one I want. Hopefully it doesn't change this too much. Looks like it actually does. Not terrible. Okay. This can also be half pin here. Other way. And this claw can go back into it. And this can go back here. Oh, so close. All right, well, what length is that? That's a 7. That is a soft axle. And does it come in orange? No, of course not. So now we have to look at the other tube. Is this actually longer on this side? It looks like it is a little bit, yeah. Yeah, because it's got this extra bit of fluff in there. Which that's cool because now I can maybe put in I don't know, wedge plate of some kind. Just do this to give it more like it's pieces of stuff coming together. So this all still works. Oh, I need to be able to attach this guy. So this will be like this probably. Off the back end here. Right? Yeah. And then get one of these. And that can be black. Okay. Yeah, that works pretty well, I think. So here's your rotational bit. Is now this can twist. So I should be able to twist it like this and then have it move back and forth. So it will not be able to go like this unless you twist them first and then it can go like this. So if I wanted to twist it up and then have it go like this a little bit, that would be okay. And the rest, yeah, this is kind of the way it's going to have to be because otherwise it will not hold up all that weight. Which means I don't think I care too much about seeing the joints back here. but I could always like do this. So it covers it a little bit. That's probably not too bad. Get rid of those things. It's not on there that well, but it looks okay. Kind of hides the joints from the front. Okay. And it still should be able to rotate pretty well. It can rotate. See, this section doesn't look like it rotates a whole ton. It does need to go up and down though, so that's going to be kind of an issue. So the up and down part will have to be kind of like on this ball joint. But again, as long as I can kind of make it curl down a little bit to get this shape, I think it'll be fine. And again, I'll come in and close. Now that this is a little stronger, and maybe with this tubing in place that might strengthen these up, it might suffice. So I'll play with it. But now I got to figure out this thing. Wish that was slightly longer. But now maybe instead of this tube, which is cool, what was it, 11? Nope. Maybe I can do 9. Not ribbed. Also have to see what if it comes in orange or not. And it does not. 12. Eight. Okay, so now I got to turn off. I'm going to turn this to orange again, see what comes up with. Okay. Hose. Let's just look at hose. That's that one. That's that one. That one's too long by a lot. And then this one's not long enough. By just a bit. That one is not long enough for just a bit. This one looks like it's just long enough. But if they were straightened, it wouldn't be. So a little bummed out about this whole process. So let's straighten this wing out so we know what we got to work with. Because if we've got a clip in here that it can slide in and out of, I don't care if it's a little longer. Oh, brilliant. Move all these out of the way. Okay, and then this one. I don't know why it doesn't like the hinges sometimes. Like, I don't know why it doesn't like moving. Oh, because that tube is there. let's get rid of that tube. And then do this. Yeah, now it works. And that's pretty straight, I think, already. Okay. Perfectly straight. Let's go ahead and copy. Oh, it's noon. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to play with these tubes a little bit. But for now, I think this is actually the way the wings are going to go. So let's get rid of this. And we will copy all this. Provided I can get it all without... I'm going to need a whole new thing here. Hey, thanks for grabbing that. I talk to my software because otherwise my software doesn't understand my my displeasure. Cool. Replace the wings and still got it all done in time. Nice. So for all intents and purposes, that's done. Oh, these didn't flip again. But we got it done and it should be more stable now. Now it's just a matter of putting on the other things, make sure the tubes can get on there and it works okay. I think the wing heft is good now. The size is good. The wings, the thrusters look good. The head moves back and forth. The tail works. Legs look like they work. I think everything's attached. So I think we're done. I think I might just put some tubes on this, pose it, and call it finished. I'm pretty excited. I thought it was going to be another couple weeks with this, but I'm not convinced of this garbage up front here, but that's just to hide some of this a little bit. And I might put a thing in here. Oh, you know what? So I appreciate everybody hanging out during this process. I know it was a bit of a process. I forgot about these things too. These like shutters. I wish they had stuff that you could attach them to. Like these would be great for like the wings somewhere. I should look into like adding these back here somewhere. They come in white. I think they come in white. Oh, nope, they don't. Well, never mind. Sweet. Yeah, some touch-ups. I'll take it offline and finish up like some of the straightening all this up over here and figuring out if even I want to put these tubes back on there somehow, figure out how to do that. But overall, I think it looks good. Thank you everybody for joining me today. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. I will be out of town starting Thursday morning until Monday late. So I won't be here for the next 2 streams. You can check out my Instagram stuff. Maybe I'll have a render of this. I might also be posting some images of our trip, but that's probably just Facebook and stuff like that. But I'll be back the following Thursday. And at which point I think we were going to do, Johnny and Vab and I were probably going to do it was like a spin the wheel and do some build minifig thing. So look for that. And I hope you guys enjoy. Also keep an eye on Kodiak's stuff. He's putting videos out. Johnny and Vab are doing streams of their build process. Vab's working on rockets. Johnny's doing some stuff from Brickfest this weekend, so make sure to check that out. And I'll see you guys as soon as I get back. So have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.